Welcome to Streaming News Network, where we deliver balanced reporting with the facts that matter. Evening Edition by Claude McDaniel. Please like and subscribe.
This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. President Donald Trump has announced a new policy declaring that the Strait of Hormuz will remain open to international shipping, with or without Iran's cooperation. According to the president, the United States will immediately begin implementing what he called the Iranian blockade, a measure intended to prevent Iranian ships, as well as vessels conducting business with Iran, from entering or leaving the region. He stated that all other nations would continue to enjoy unrestricted access through the strategic waterway. Trump also declared that the United States will now serve as the guardian of the Hormuz Strait, taking responsibility for providing security in one of the world's most important maritime trade routes. To offset the costs of maintaining that security, the president proposed that cargo moving through the strait be subject to a reimbursement charge equal to 20% of the value of shipments. He said the funds would help cover the expenses of safeguarding commercial traffic in the volatile region. The president added that work on establishing the new security framework and reimbursement system would begin immediately. The announcement is expected to draw close attention from U.S. allies, energy markets, shipping companies, and governments throughout the Middle East, as questions remain about how the proposal would be implemented under international law and whether other nations would support the initiative. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. A Virginia man is facing murder charges after authorities say his wife was found fatally shot inside the couple's home in Fairfax County. Police responded Sunday night to a residence in Fair Oaks after receiving an emergency call shortly after 10:21 p.m. Dispatchers reported hearing sounds consistent with a disturbance before the call was disconnected. A second emergency call was received about 18 minutes later. When officers arrived, they discovered 60-year-old Chisan Azuma Jameson suffering from multiple gunshot wounds to her upper body. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators identified her husband, 64-year-old Leland Jameson, as the suspect. Authorities say he was taken into custody without incident and has been charged with second-degree murder and use of a firearm in the commission of a felony. According to investigators, detectives believe the shooting followed a domestic dispute inside the home. Officials have not released additional details about what led to the incident. Jameson is being held without bond at the Fairfax County Adult Detention Center and is expected to appear in court this week. Police say the investigation remains active and are asking anyone with information related to the case to contact investigators. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. A new report highlights a decline in New York's share of high-income earners, fueling debate over taxes, public spending, and the state's economic future. Supporters and critics of higher taxes point to different research on whether wealthy residents relocate in response to tax policy. Here's a balanced look at the latest findings and the ongoing political discussion. A new report is adding fuel to the ongoing debate over taxes and economic policy in New York, finding that the state's share of Americans earning more than $1 million annually has declined since 2010. According to the Citizens Budget Committee, New York's share of the nation's million-dollar earners fell from 12.7% to 8.7% during that period. The report also found that, in recent years, the state's highest-income taxpayers have been leaving at a faster rate than lower-income residents. The findings have become part of a broader political debate over proposals to increase taxes on high-income earners. Some Democratic socialists have argued that higher taxes are needed to help fund expanded public services and social programs, while critics contend that additional tax increases could encourage more affluent residents and businesses to relocate to states with lower tax burdens. Economists have published research reaching different conclusions about how tax policy influences migration. Some studies suggest higher taxes can contribute to the relocation of top earners and highly skilled professionals, while others note that employment opportunities, housing costs, quality of life, and family considerations also play significant roles in where people choose to live. The issue remains central to New York's economic outlook as policymakers weigh how to balance tax revenue, public spending, and long-term competitiveness. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. A crew member aboard a Princess Cruises ship has died after going overboard during a Caribbean voyage that departed from Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The incident occurred near Cancun, Mexico, while the Regal Princess was sailing on a 7-day itinerary. Cruise officials have not released the identity of the crew member. Princess Cruises expressed its condolences to the employee's family, friends, and fellow crew members, adding that grief support services are being made available to both passengers and crew affected by the tragedy. The company also thanked local authorities and the crew of the Carnival Jubilee for assisting in the search and rescue effort following the incident. After search operations concluded, the Regal Princess resumed its scheduled voyage. The ship's next port of call is Belize before continuing its Caribbean itinerary. The cruise line expects the vessel to return to Fort Lauderdale on schedule at the end of the 7-day trip. The circumstances surrounding the crew member's death have not been released, and the incident remains under investigation. This is Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network. A private school administrator in Lakeland, Florida, is facing multiple felony charges following a traffic stop on Interstate 4 in Polk County. According to the Polk County Sheriff's Office, 36-year-old Dominique Lasahi DeVoe, the assistant head of school at Academy Prep of Lakeland, was stopped Saturday afternoon after a deputy determined she was driving without a valid driver's license. Investigators say DeVoe's driving privileges had previously been revoked after she was designated a habitual traffic offender. Authorities also reported multiple prior license suspensions and several unpaid traffic citations. During the traffic stop, deputies allege DeVoe initially refused repeated commands to exit the vehicle. After she complied, investigators say she resisted being taken into custody and struck a deputy while officers attempted to place her in handcuffs. A man and a young child were also inside the vehicle during the incident. Neither was reported injured. DeVoe was arrested and charged with battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting an officer with violence, driving while her license was suspended or revoked as a habitual traffic offender, and resisting an officer without violence. The charges are allegations, and DeVoe is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. This is Claude McDaniel of Streaming News Network. Former Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad is reportedly under house arrest after allegations surfaced that he held secret contacts with Israeli intelligence during a covert effort to reshape Iran's leadership. According to multiple news reports citing unnamed American, Israeli, and Iranian officials, Israeli intelligence allegedly spent years cultivating Ahmadinejad as a potential leader in the event of a change in Iran's government. The reports claim the effort included meetings outside Iran and discussions about a possible post-regime role for the former president. The reports further allege that Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps placed Ahmadinejad under house arrest after discovering the extent of those contacts. However, Iranian authorities have not publicly confirmed the reported detention, and Israeli officials have not commented on the allegations. Ahmadinejad served as Iran's president from 2005 through 2013 and was widely known for his hardline policies, controversial statements about Israel, and his role during Iran's nuclear program. In recent years, he had become increasingly critical of Iran's current leadership after being barred from returning to office. Many details surrounding the reported intelligence operation remain unverified, and independent confirmation of several key claims has not been made. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Federal prosecutors in Connecticut have charged a Honduran national with illegally re-entering the United States after a previous deportation. According to the United States Attorney's Office for the District of Connecticut, 42-year-old Giovanni de Jesus Alvarez Murillo was arrested Monday after being transferred to the custody of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement upon completing a state jail sentence. Prosecutors say Alvarez Murillo first entered the United States in 2002 by crossing the southern border. He was deported to Honduras in 2013 following a forgery conviction in Stamford. Authorities allege that he later returned to the United States without authorization. Court records indicate he was arrested in Stamford in 2021 and again in 2023 under a variation of his name for misdemeanor offenses. He was also arrested by Connecticut State Police in 2024 on an impaired driving charge and by Stamford Police in 2025 for driving without a required ignition interlock device. After serving a 60-day sentence on the state convictions, Alvarez Murillo appeared in federal court in New Haven, where a judge ordered him detained pending further proceedings. The charge of illegal re-entry carries a potential sentence of up to 20 years in federal prison if he is convicted. As with all criminal cases, the charge is an allegation, and the defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani says his administration will review concerns about a large homeless encampment on Manhattan's West Side following renewed complaints from residents, business owners, and visitors. During a media availability on Monday, the mayor was asked about reports describing a growing encampment near the Intrepid Museum. Mamdani responded that he would look into it but did not provide details on any immediate action or policy changes. The encampment, reported to extend for multiple city blocks, has become the focus of neighborhood concerns over sanitation, public safety, and quality of life issues. Some residents say they have observed open drug use, discarded needles, and other illegal activity in the area, while local businesses have expressed concerns about the impact on visitors and tourism. The situation has also sparked debate over New York City's approach to homelessness. Critics argue the city should take more aggressive action to address encampments and enforce public safety laws. Supporters of the current approach say homelessness requires a coordinated response centered on outreach, housing assistance, mental health services, and social support rather than relying primarily on police enforcement. City officials have not announced any new initiatives in response to the latest complaints, and the conditions along the west side remain under review. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. A deputy United States Marshal has been killed while assisting in the execution of an arrest warrant in Alexandria, Louisiana, according to federal and local authorities. The shooting occurred Monday afternoon as members of the United States Marshals Service Violent Offender Task Force, working alongside local sheriff's detectives, attempted to apprehend a wanted fugitive. Officials say gunfire erupted during the operation, and the deputy marshal was struck. Despite emergency medical efforts, the officer later died from those injuries. Authorities have not yet released the deputy's identity, pending notification of family members. Following the shooting, the suspect remained inside the location, prompting a lengthy standoff with law enforcement. Officials say the individual eventually surrendered and was taken into custody. The suspect was also injured and transported to a local hospital. Authorities have not released details about those injuries or identified the suspect. The Federal Bureau of Investigation is leading the investigation into what it describes as an assault on a federal officer, with assistance from the Louisiana State Police and local law enforcement agencies. Officials say there is no ongoing threat to the public. Additional information about what led to the shooting has not yet been released as the investigation continues.
Thank you for listening to Streaming News Network videos and our audio reports. Please like and subscribe to our news channel.